Hello, good evening, Stampers. It is Nemi Batstone here, coming to you from my crafty studio in Cooks Creek, Manitoba. I'm just located 20 minutes northeast of Winnipeg, and happy to say it is Friday. Whew, what a week. It's been a busy one, although I'm 3 weeks into my new job. And then I came home and found this. This is the new starter kit. Does anybody want to see the inside? I'm just kind of, shy to share the inside because it is new. So every time you now join Stampin' Up, you don't have to pick your products right away. Instead, you get this box. And this box is loaded with some amazing goodies. And even a personalized letter from Sarah, which has the same coordinating colors as the box. And I was like, that's so cool. Anyway, there's this letter from her, which you'll be able to read. And then on the back, she's like, it says, in this box, you'll find an exclusive kit with supplies for 8 cards plus some post-worthy Stampin' swag, just a little welcome gift from us with a couple of simple ways to help you get the word out about your new demonstratorship. And then a couple QR codes. So if you've been, if you are new to Stampin' Up, you get one of these. There's some rules with regards to whether or not you've been a past demonstrator. And the nice thing now too is if you want to switch, I shouldn't even talk about that. I'm not going to talk about it because that's just negative stuff. But anyway, this is the new package. And then you get a coupon code for $170. No more, you have to spend only $165. So you can go over and then your total will be less. So anyway, if you'd like to see what's in here, let me know in the comments whether you're catching me on replay or live. And then maybe I'll share the content. But although lots of people already have. Okay, so today is a special evening. This evening is all about my craft along. So I started this, I think, in April, and it has grown, which I am very thankful for. And most of you got a letter in the mail or in your package with the date, because I know you all can't always be here. Oh, darn, I forgot to do my pre-work. And so I put the wrong date, so I emailed all of you to tell you it is not tomorrow, because tomorrow is bingo night. So please be aware of that. So I'm just going to drop you down because we don't need to be that high. And so it's supposed to say Friday, July 24th, not Saturday, July 25th. Tomorrow is bingo, so you want to come back again. And then I put 7, and when I looked at my advertising, it said 6:30. So I'm going to fix things up. And that was because I used to do everything at 6:30, but now that I'm working, it's a little harder. So I will fix those things up. And I look like I'm a bit crooked. Okay, and then I was supposed to do some pre-work, and I hopefully have it all done. So in your kit, when you open it up, you'll get this. And then you're going to get a little baggie of goodies. So this is the oars I was saying you're supposed to pre-cut. And I don't think, oh, I see it, and I have it. So this little baggie here has all of your goodies. Let me just double check. Yeah, it has all of your goodies. The reason why I put it in this little baggie is because I didn't want to lose. There's so many pieces that I didn't want to put them, like I usually stuff them here inside each envelope, but I didn't want them to get lost when you tried to open your package in the mail. So that is the reason why I put the little baggie. Now, because I use the relaxing waterside retreat here, or suite, relaxing waterside suite, some of you, because the paper, the DSP, didn't give all the oars in crossing each other in one image. So some of you would have gotten 2 oars like I do here. And then some of you would have gotten an image that had two of these together crisscrossing already. So either way, they both work. So I'm like, obviously the crisscrossing one requires less work, same amount of fussy cutting, because either way you have to cut around it. So, you know, that's how we roll. So if you're there, don't forget to say hello. Just want to know. And also it tells me then too that my sound is working fine, because that would really suck if it's not. Okay, so those are my two oars. That was part of the pre-work, and they crisscross. And then there was one more thing that was part of the pre-work, which was the life jacket. So there should be a life jacket in here as well. There it is. And you also had to fussy cut this. But again, I gave you pieces that are real simple and easy to fussy cut. Now, you'll notice that I have a green plaid life jacket, but some of you may have a green solid life jacket. Either way, again, on the designer series paper, it gave me random styles. So I just picked all the ones that were roughly the same size. So that's why you will have, and there's only so many per page, so per pattern sheet. So that was all I could give you. Okay, so that was your pre-work. So there are 3 cards. Hello, Shell. Hello, Barb. Hello, Monica. Thank you for saying hello and letting me know you're there. Obviously, my sound must be working then. So that's good. I'm so glad it's Friday. So I made myself a dirty soda, and it's really dirty. This is how they make it dirty. So this one is Coke with 2 pumps of pineapple and 2 tablespoons, I call them splashes, of whipped cream. So if you're into dirty sodas like I am, that is a fun one and easy one to make, especially because you only need 1 kind of syrup. And I had a regular bottle of 2-liter bottle of Coke in the fridge that needed to go. So I was like, this is what we're having. Okay. So another thing is you're going to also need, I forgot to put this in the notes, so I'm telling you now. For your kits, I forgot to tell you, you also need a paper towel. Where did they go? Hang on. And water painter. Found it. Okay, so you're gonna need a water painter. So Stampin' Up! Sells a set of water painters. That's these 3 here. I was just checking and cleaning them, and now I got this little guy here that is really annoying. So I'm gonna cut that off. So if you sign up for and register for my TNT class, you get a whole set of water painters in your kit. Did you know that? So you're going to get all 3 of these in the kit, and then it's yours forever. But you need one tonight. So the one I'm using is this fat one, because that's the one that we're going to use to color our cardstock. And then you need a paper towel because we're using 2 colors. And the 2 colors we're using is Costa Cabana and Crumb Cake. And for the oars card, I'm using Early Espresso. And we also need a heat tool, and then I'm using Peaceful Pine. So we need Versamark ink, some white embossing powder, and then any colors like this. Or you could just use black, and then here, any blue or any brown, right? Because you're going to do water and sand. So that's pretty much what we're doing. So I'm going a little slow just to give you time. Hi, Irene. Hello, Kathy. Hello, Gail. Thanks for joining me this evening. TGIF. So we have that. Also, I just want to note that in dirty sodas, you can add 1 ounce of vodka if you like, and then you'll get a really nice, good evening. So my husband came home last night, and he actually beat us. So yesterday evening, I'm sorry I wasn't here with you because my son was begging all week to see his girlfriend, and I just couldn't make it work. I'm like, I work. Why are you asking me to drive you somewhere at 1 p.m. in the afternoon when you know I'm working? Like, and that work pays for your gallivanting. Anyway, it was her birthday last weekend. He couldn't go because I was only parent and I had to drive Bishop to things and then to his soccer, which is a priority. And then, you know, anyway, I'm sorry I wasn't here. But then my husband beat me home. Like, he got home before 9. We're like, what? Anyway, we didn't get home till 10. So here's our card. Oh, I should show you. So I think I've shown this many times already. But this is the first one of the cards. This is the other card. And this is your other card. Now, this card is like my favorite. And this card was actually inspired by a 31 bag that I found when I was cleaning my buckets. And there is, let me show it to you. It's probably going to be hard to see. But let me see if I can pull up the camera. It's actually still sitting here on the floor. But I found this 31 bag in my closet and I was packing things up. It's huge. It's like one of those, I used to love this bag and use it all the time. So it's a massive bag that you could just fill up with whatever. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's the card. So then that is what inspired us to make this card. And I knew I had to do it. So anyway, that is what's happening with that one. So those are our 3 cards. So I'm just going to bring you down again. So, because I don't need to be that high. And we're just going to start assembling. Assemble. Let's push this slightly over. Okay. So let's get crafty. I think the first one in your kit, I don't remember how I packed them, was this one. Oh, there. And it uses one of our new embossing, or one of our new die. And let me show you here. Oh, and just so you all know, if you don't have a kit, I can send you one for 20 bucks. So they're free if you spend $60 and order with me in any given month. And then the next month I give you a free kit. So if you want it, I have an extra one ready to go. Here it is. Extra kit, ready to pack. Just need to slap your name on it. And it's yours for 20. So just let me know if you're interested. So pretty. Thanks. So this is the new one. So this is what I used. And it's called what? Botanical Expressions die. Oh my gosh, I thought I bought the French one. Maybe I did, because it says Botanical Expressions die. But then here it's got all, oh no, I think that's just all the other 3 different languages. Okay, just me. So this is it here. And then what I did was for all of you, because you don't have it, is I just lined it up, ran it through the emboss and cut machine. And as you can see, it doesn't cut it on the paper. It just cuts the edges or the in-betweens and makes a really cute design. So that's why I thought this would be a fun card, because I wanted to just show you the die. And if it's a die that you're interested in, you can pick it up in my online store and order it, and then you'll get to help you get your free kit for August. And then I gave you a strip of our product of the month. So this is the vellum, and I wanted to use vellum because I wanted it to be see-through. And that's just going to sit on the back there. Okay. And then also in your kits, I'll make sure I don't drop those. This is your envelope. And then also in your kit, there's a soft seafoam leaf that we need. And then we also need a piece of white. Okay, I think there's 2 pieces. So I'm going to put this aside because we're going to need that. But yeah. Okay, so we need a piece of white. So there's white linen in your white thread. And then we need the ladybug. So there's a ladybug body and a ladybug top. So these 3 pieces comes from the Springtime Scenes dies. So I've done a class on this one as well. And if you go to my YouTube channel and just go to my playlist and go to Springtime Scenes, you'll get 5 cards made with this one. And so there's the ladybug. And then I think I used Fern and Flora for the other one. So many dies. So, good evening, Margaret. Thanks for joining. So then I used the Fern and Flora one there. So I'm just showing you mix and match, reminding you that to make sure you mix and match. Okay, so let's get this card done. So I'm just going to assemble this first. I'll put that there. And we're going to take our beautiful ladybug. I'm going to grab my tweezers because my fingers are too fat. So my husband's home and it's our anniversary this Sunday. And I wanted to go to NOLA. And guess what? I knew I wasn't going to get in. And of course, NOLA, the restaurant, have you guys, anyone been there yet? So, of course, they're all booked up. They're all booked up until like, I think Wednesday or Thursday of that week. But our anniversary is Sunday. And it's Medieval Festival this weekend too at Cooks Creek Community, Cooks Creek Immaculate Church there. So all week we've been watching them practice their joisting and everything. Why does this look so crooked? And then on top of that, Cooks Creek is like major busy, man. Because on top of that, they've been busy really like crazy, even in the evening, filming for Little House on the Prairie. So I said to my husband, we should have got tickets for the feast, and we totally forgot. And for a Friday night, but then he's like, but it's Friday, it's not our anniversary. So I'm like, fine. So anyway, it's hard to plan too when he's away, and texting is our only way of chatting. Because they rode their motorcycles all the way in pretty much in Arkansas. Yes, U.S., Arkansas, U.S. Not safe. Can you imagine riding your motorcycle all the way down there and then all the way back? Fun. Okay, so I'm using tear tape because I wanted something that wasn't going to be very see-through on the vellum. So if you use white liquid glue, just note that you have to let it dry, because otherwise most of them, unless your bottle actually says it is clear. Yes, I'm using art glitter versus our Tombow glue, only because I have a crap load of this and I need to get rid of it. But they both work fine. Okay, so if you use a 1/4 inch, as you can see, it should fit. Or not. For the most part, it should fit. Oh yeah, okay, we're good. So I was gonna make it a little thicker just in case, but let me know. So I'll show you a trick if it doesn't. So, because it just depends how my paper trimmer feels like doing that day. And I'm trying to get this tear tape up. You'd think because I have long nails, it would work. So I'm thinking of, okay, put that there. So we're gonna line up the edge to edge, and I'm making sure I've got my tear tape covered. And then I'm just gonna line it up on the other end. Oh, it is a little wonky. So some of my tear tape is gonna be showing. And then I'm just gonna make sure I'm in camera here. Okay. This is the way I like to do it, because then if I have to lift it or change it or anything like that, I have time. I'm not trying to peel it off this whole 5.5 inches. So I'm gonna peel that back, so then that covers that. And then I'm gonna peel this back. Now I have a little bit of glue showing. So this is where your embossing buddy becomes your best friend. Because now I'm just gonna tap my embossing buddy on there so that the powder sticks to the glue that's showing, and then it will remove its stickiness. Now the other alternative, which I don't want to do because I'm lazy, is to use your glue eraser. And you can take your glue eraser and remove any excess. But you know what? It's like, it's 5.5 inches long. It's not a little corner, so I can't be bothered. So I like to use my embossing buddy. Okay, so now we're just gonna fold this over. Now, the other alternative is you can take a piece of white cardstock and just put that right over top, is another alternative. And we might do that in case I make a boo-boo here. Okay, because we have to stamp our sentiment. So I am going to use from Springtime Scenes, Celebrate New Beginnings. You can use whatever you want. So use whatever sentiment you want to use. Could be happy birthday, could be wishing you all the best. I don't know, you mean the world to me, whatever. Where is it? There it is. Celebrate, I think that's it. Yeah, Celebrate New Beginnings. And then I'm going to use a block to pick that up. I moved everything so that I have better lighting and stuff. So I'm trying to, I don't always have everything here. I mean, I'm only like 4 steps from my desk, but still. So I apologize if I have to pause and run. Okay, so I'm going to move that there, move my glue. And now I'm using Peaceful Pine. Use whatever you want. Green, brown. I'd say stick with those colors. Oh, and I'm going to just lay my leaf down so I know roughly where I'm putting that sentiment. And I'm just going to add it right here. This is a very simple, plain card, but pops a pinch with the little itty bitty stuff showing. Okay, so that is my first one. And then we're just going to take this. I'm going to bring my tweezers in again because my fingers are fat. I broke it. Or was this one already broken? Oh, yeah. I remember. I broke this one. That's why this is my kit. And I meant to cut another one. And then I forgot. So I'm just going to trim that. It's still fine. Nobody knows. Except for you all. And I'm going to add some adhesive to the back. I'm so glad it's Friday. I thought I could sleep in tomorrow. I was like, I'm so looking forward to sleeping in and not having an alarm clock wake me up at 5:30. 5:30, 5:45. That's roughly when I wake. Then Benjamin, my middle one, says, Mama, I gotta go to work tomorrow. And I was like, what? What do you mean you're going to work? He's like, can you drive me? I'm like, no. I'm like, where are you working? And he's like, I gotta go to my friend's farm. They need help baling hay. I'm like, okay, as most of you know, if you're country folk, baling hay starts super early and is very hard labor. And I'm like, what time are you starting? Oh, I think I have to be there for 6:50 a.m. I'm like, yeah, you can find a ride with someone else, thanks. I'm so rude. Anyway, so he's like, okay, I'll ask. And I'm like, oh, so much for sleeping in. Oh, and then Bishop, my youngest, says, oh, so surprisingly, first time in history, their soccer academy is playing finals in all 4 categories. So if all 4 teams win, all 4 teams will be representing Manitoba at nationals. That's U15 girls, U15 boys, U17 girls, and U17 boys. Isn't that amazing? But anyway, so Bishop's like, can we go watch the U15s? I'm like, sure, no problem. And I can't go watch the U17s, which is the game I want to watch because that's where my son's teammates are. Some of them are on. And he says, I'm like, oh, wait, which one do you want to go to? He's like, U15 boys. I'm like, you know their game starts at 9 a.m. tomorrow, right? Or on Saturday. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's fine. I'm like, so we're going. So we're going to drop Benjamin off, come home, take a nap, and then go to Ralph Contefio to watch the 15s play. So much for sleeping in. Okay. So I didn't, it's obvious what I just did there, which was tie a bow. Make your bow as big or as little as you like. Just like that. And then I'm going to snippity-doo-dah. So we're just going to cut that off. And cut down here. And there's our card. Now, if you want to add embellishments, like some rhinestone basic jewels, or, you know, whatever, feel free. I personally just didn't this time, because I thought that was enough, and I personally liked it. And then I'm going to, now this time I didn't give you stuff, and so this time I'm going to take the ladybug out of this one, and grab, oh, I see, I didn't bring it over, and grab some black ink. Can you all hear me still when I like walk away? I'm wondering if that still works. I'm gonna grab some black ink because I'm not too sure if I should buy a new microphone or something, because I just use earbuds. I'm gonna grab that, and I should have grabbed a piece of, oh, I'll just use, so the letter I gave you, just use it as scrap. So I'm gonna grab that here. I'm gonna go, yeah, go like this. And then we're gonna take the top of our envelope. I guess it would help if I had the stamp on there. And then I'm just gonna stamp the ladybug a few times. Oakley dokley. Sure. I'm just rotating it and just adding that little touch. I know last month I gave you all some extra pattern paper, but this time I wanted to say, you know what? Stamp with what you got. And then, so let's see what that looks like. So then there, my paper, and that's what that looks like. So you can color that in if you like. I'll color it later maybe, I don't know. Or I'll leave it, I don't know. And then you could obviously stamp the inside. So I'm gonna leave mine blank because I could either turn this into a wedding card or a, you know, congratulations kind of card. So I don't want to stamp the inside and have it stuck with that being. But then now, this card is now done. So we're done card number 1. Woot woot. I have nowhere to put this. Okay, so that was my original. And then card number 2, let's get all these other pieces out of the way. So this is this fun one. And, oh, I did. Let's see if I, yeah. Okay, so your card kit would look like this. So find the one that has some fishies in it and some old olive. I think this is old olive or granny apple. I can't remember. Oh my. And then there's this circle here. And then there's this white piece that goes on the inside. So we're going to put that on the inside. And then there should be one more piece. Mine fell out. Oh, that's why I had an extra circle. Hang on a sec. I was like, why do I have an extra circle? I did. I had an extra circle and I couldn't figure out why. And I guess this is why. So bear with me. But while I'm doing this, make sure your oars are cut. And so is your, whatchamacallit, you know. And you know what? Here's the funny thing. The funny thing too is, there's prep work for Christmas in July tomorrow. So it's like one little thing. So don't forget to do it because I obviously forgot here. Where did my circle go? Okay, I gotta cut this circle. Unless it's in my bin. Hang on. Sorry. Well, we could come back to it. But look at all my stuff. So it's probably in here. And because I probably threw it in here just in case and said, oops, why do I have an extra? Okay, no. Okay, so I'm going to take my circle. Good thing I left the circle in here. So I'm just going to take my circle. Be right back. I'm going to die cut this one. So while I'm doing that, you can assemble your chair, your Adirondack. Adirondack? Am I saying that right? Chair. I can never pronounce it, so that's why I'm like, am I saying it right? I'm not sure. Okay. Yippity-yura. Good thing. This is an easy one. I know the circle's sitting here somewhere. And you know I'm going to find it after, right? Because that's always what happens. Okay, so you'll have a circle. Okay. Thanks, Irene. I'm glad you love that card. Simple but elegant. And then you need your bits and pieces. So you've got all that. And so in the bits and pieces, you're going to grab your chair, your oars, your, whatchamacallit. See, this is where all the itty bitties come in. You'll need that linen, which is a gray, right? This comes from the Basic Essentials. And then you have the little anchor, which is currently unavailable. And then the smallest pieces, and the reason why I put them in baggies, is these two little green things. And these little green things are the arms to the chair. Okay? So there you have it. So, see all this die cutting I did for you? And all I ask you to do is place a minimum order of $60 before shipping and tax, by the way. So let's do some assembly. So we're gonna grab that chair. So now the chair has 3 pieces, and I was pretty boring this time and just did them all the same. So this is the piece that actually gets die cut from here, and we're gonna add it right there. So I'm gonna take our adhesive and just put a small strip and then add that piece here. So then it gives us the full wood look right there. Make sure we're straight. Make sure we're straight. Okay, Shell, I know you're here, but aren't you supposed to be watching the Bomber game? So my husband ditched us because my son called and said, oh, or he was texting with him and said, oh, Dad, I didn't know you were back. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I have an extra Bomber ticket if you want to come. And this was at like 5 while I'm already making dinner. And he's like, oh, Brady has an extra ticket. I said, I don't care. Go. Just go. We haven't seen you all week. Go. Oops. Okay, so you tuck that guy underneath. I'm sure you've all seen this already because I'm behind on showcasing these. Not really necessarily behind, but I just chose to do them later in life. So now it's like loosey-goosey here. So what you can do, I mean, your choice. I find it easier because the glue will dry anyway. You could leave it as is, or if you're not comfortable with that, then fine. Just run a really, really small bead. And if you have your silicone mat handy, I would wipe some of that off. But hey, that's just, you know. And then you just push this down. And if I had my silicone mat, I would do it all on my silicone mat. But it's way over there. I'm too lazy to go get it. Okay, there we go. And while all that glue dries, because it will, and then it won't be sticky, or you could be like me later and we'll put the powder on. That will go there. So just let that dry. Oh, before we let that dry, let's add our arms. So you can tell where the arms go because the curve is on the inside. If you put it on the wrong side, you will notice because that's just not going to work. And you could go the other way. It does work this way as well. No, you can't. So again, you kind of know that that's just not gonna work. So I'll drop you a bit. And so it's obvious and very evident. Here, I'll put it on the paper. What is this? Oh, okay, this is my inner piece, so that's fine. It's fine if we get glue because we have the other side. So if you try and glue this, it won't work because it'll glue like that. And then if you try and put it on, that's not going to fit. And if you try doing it this way, it's going in the wrong direction. So it's obvious which side belongs where. So I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive here. Literally. And then I'm going to pick up my piece. Because as you can see, my fat fingers are in the way. And then we're just going to line that up and drop it in place. So there's one arm. And then here's the other one. Oops. Okay. And I'll drop that in. So go ahead and do that. Assemble your chair. Oops, it's a little too high. I'm off. Missed the mark. There we go. And that's your beautiful chair. I love it. So, you know, this one obviously has two chairs, so you could do two different styles, but this is the style I picked. And we're gonna let that dry. So while that's drying, and I just realized I put that one away, that bundle away, we're gonna build our card. So all we're going to do now is just, while we're waiting, we're just gonna add, no we're not gonna add that one yet. We're gonna add this one to this one. And you'll see that I gave you a bigger piece. So you're gonna have to trim your cardstock. What was I thinking? Look at that. Totally the wrong size. Duh. So I made it way too big. My apologies. What was I thinking? So this one is 3 7/8 by, oh yeah, it's supposed to be 3 3/4 by 5. Winner. So I'm gonna just grab my guillotine, and you're gonna take this and trim it down to 3 3/4. I would have picked up my smaller one, my Stampin' Up! One. And then you're going to trim it to 5. But my Stampin' Up! One only goes to 4 1/4. Okay, and you're going to trim it to 5. Better than too small. Yours is cut properly? My gosh. So it's just me. I got the reject kit, I guess. That would make sense. Better me to get the reject kit than you. So now we're going to put this right on top. Thanks for confirming that, Monica. So we're going to lay this one right on top. So grab your adhesive. So, and this is the other thing, is I purposely cut the circle from this to, one, remind you to be frugal with your cardstock, because you can. And then just lay this on top, because no one's going to see that there's something missing. Right? Right. Right. Okay, like so. And then all we do is center and lay this one right on top. I'm going to flip mine, or I could trim it. I'm slightly off here, so I'm just going to use this side. And this one's going to go right on top. This is garbage. So again, we're just gonna add our adhesive. I'll put my middle initial there. And I'm gonna lay that. Let's make sure we're going the right way. I did that yesterday. I was making a wedding card for my girlfriend. I didn't realize I had one ready. And then she's like, I'm like, well, what's the wedding colors? And she's like, black and white. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, and I put all these nice colors. So I'm like, Okay, I have black and white paper with flowers. I'm going to change the card. So I did that real quickly last night. And then I realized I glued it upside down like this. And I was like, oh man. So I had to make a second one. So that's what I'm saying. Make sure you look. Okay, so now this is going to go slightly over with this in the center. So I'm going to cut. Now, if you don't want to, by the way, you can just place this wherever you like. You can put it right here. If you prefer it in the center, by all means, go ahead. I'll show you the final. So this is what I did. So you can see I have it touching a little bit here. This is why I said don't glue that circle on yet. So I trimmed it a bit, and then this becomes my little focal. Now, if you don't like that and you prefer your circle elsewhere, by all means, go ahead. Like you could put it down here, just leave room for the oars, or you could center it, whatever you feel like doing. But I'll just maintain my design here and keep it to the edge. So I'm gonna glue this one first. And I also didn't use dimensionals because we're gonna use dimensionals for the rest. So I'm pretty much like just cutting off a wee bit, like a hair, so that I have more room on this side. That's really all I'm doing. And then just make sure you don't put adhesive. Well, it doesn't matter if you do, because really you're just gonna cut it off anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna center top to bottom and then just kind of adjust this as I see fit. And that's because I know this is a pretty big circle and I want it to not look like it's completely, I don't want to cut it off. So I want to make sure my circle is far enough that my blue striped one will not get cut off. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so now we're just gonna take this and just trim whatever is left. Okay, and then that's garbage. And then we're just gonna take this again and just add some adhesive. Okay, now I feel like you're too close and this green is blurring out. So I'm gonna move you a bit. Now you could put this however pattern way you like. I'm just gonna go up and down horizontally, nothing fancy, and just leave it as is. Okay, so you can see here, I'm almost right at the edge. That white, that blue stripy circle is like literally right there. Okay, so now we're going to add our chair. And you can add your chair using dimensionals, or you can add your chair gluing it completely. I used dimensionals. Shocker. So all I did was take a bunch of, I think I used the foam strips actually. But yeah, I think I used foam strips. Just let me check there. I did. But I'm going to show you how to use minis. So all I did here is I took my minis and made them mini. Okay, so let's pick a side. Let's pick this side. So I'm just gonna cut these minis in half. I know, crazy talk, right? And then I just put a few here on the back. So I'm gonna use my mini, what's this tool called? Take your pick tool, and just stick a few on there. I can't see, so I have to pull that off. Okay, I might need a couple more, but let's see. So I'm gonna grab this one and I'll put them a little lower just to hold it. And maybe one more, okay? And then I can easily put one across there, but since I cut these minis, okay, I'm supposed to take my son driving tonight. He won't, I told him, it's a few weeks till his birthday and he's not ready for his test. So I'm like, so he's like, can I go driving tonight? I'm like, no, I got Facebook Live. Well, after, and I'm like, I guess technically we can. So, fun stuff. Where should we go? I told him we should go for ice cream. Any suggestions? So there we go. I'm open to suggestions, folks, where to go for ice cream. Okay, and then that and that. He also needs to practice his parallel parking, which I would like to know from all of you. When was the last time you parallel parked? I was telling him, I don't know why they don't change that one. Because really, they should just teach you how to pull in and out of parking lots, because that's pretty much what you teenagers do. Okay, so we're going to line that up here, like so. Just, you know, in the center of the stripe circle. I don't care about the rest. And I'm just going to put that like that. And then we have our oars. Now, your oars are different than my oars, or they could be the same. Either way, you would have had an image, had one that was cut like this, where the two were already crissy-cross, or you're like me and you had two separate ones and you just have to join them together. So I'm just going to take a mini glue dot, and it's okay if it actually overlaps because, or sticks out, because you're just going to cover it with so many other things that it's fine. Okay, oops. And we're just going to crisscross applesauce. Oh, I guess I should have put it a little lower. That's okay. And it's going to sit here like that. Wherever really. So that's why I was like a little to the right, because now I need my oars to go somewhere. I mean, put it wherever you like. It's okay. No one's going to know. And I'm going to stick one of these minis on each one of these bottom oars, so that they're aligned and it holds it in place. Because we're just going to cover this anyway. So I'm just going to stick that right about there. And I just realized something. I forgot to put a scrap piece of green in your kits for your sentiment. So, because I don't see one in mine. Unless I did remember and I don't have one. So if you don't have, you'd use a white, green, blues, whichever, and whatever sentiment you want. I just realized I don't have it. Okay, so now this guy, sorry about that. That's a boo-boo on my part. And this one will go here, or however you want to position it. Either way, like so. Maybe I'll put it the other way this time. And I'm just going to use mini glue dots because I don't want it to be too high. Okay, so yeah, if you don't have a piece of scrap green in your pouchy, then that means, or in your envelope, it means I forgot. Wow, what was I thinking? So now I can take a mini glue dot here and stick it underneath to hold that in place. There. So there is my doodad. So now the hardest part is taking this twine and threading it through, like I'm not joking, it's really hard, and threading it through this little hole. Oh, I did it, thank goodness. And then we're just gonna tie a knot and make a bow. So I'm gonna tie a knot and make a bow. So I forgot my little green piece, so I'm gonna just not do that. I probably forgot it in your kits as well, so let me know. That was a boo-boo on my part, and I'm not gonna mail you it because it's so small. So just take whatever scraps you have and use it. It's fine. No one's gonna know. And then I'm gonna loop-de-loop. Oh my goodness, I forgot how hard it is with this. So the other option is you could just tie a bow and stick it on with a mini glue dot. But where's the fun in that? Oops, I grabbed the wrong side. Okay, let's try that one more time. And then I might just do that because I don't want to keep you waiting here, even though you're probably struggling with me. There we go. We got it. We got it. Okay, I'm gonna pull this and pull this. So I get a smaller bow, more even bow, and make sure we are even. And there we go. Doesn't matter which side you use on this anchor, as long as you got a side. And then I'll fix my ribbon because I twisted it. Yep, I twisted it. Pull. And then go like that. Okay, and then that's gonna sit right there in the center. Well, I mean, wherever you like. So the way I held this one down was literally with a mini glue dot. So I stuck the mini glue dot, I'm gonna stick it here right behind that anchor hole, right there, right in that spot. You can see it here. And then put that down. It should be enough. Now, if you want, you could add another one here. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't fit because it's so thick that it literally will not be a problem when you try and stick it in an envelope and you're like, oh no, it's sticking. It won't because it's just so thick. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it to you guys to find a piece of scrap and put your sentiment there. So whatever you want to do on that side. And then I'm going to trim this. And I was like, so I was working from home today. It's one great thing about my new job is I don't have to be in the office every day. I can be in, as long as I'm in the office 2 to 3 times a week. 2 to 3 times a week. Now, how amazing is that? So, since I was so tired today, I knew I was going to be tired, so I said, I'm just going to work from home. And I was literally on the phone from 9 till 2:30. I think I had half an hour in between for lunch and another half hour, I think at 10, and then something else. I can't remember. Anyway, so this is the stamp set. So this is where I got the word relax. And obviously there's Dad, Happy Father's Day, all that. So now I'm going to grab my crumb cake. And for this envelope, for the inside and the envelope, I'm going to grab the grass. I use just a small one. The prairie grass, which by the way, my team name is Prairie Grass Stampers. Although not all of us live in the prairies. So I was thinking that after, I'm like, I shouldn't have picked a name that matches, you know, where I live. But, oh well, that's what I did. Okay, and then here's my envelope. So instead of doing that one, I'm going to do the outside of the envelope. And I'm going to stamp it as well here in the corner. And you can put a few if you like. So maybe I'll do 3. And just to give it a little more thickness. Okay, and then this goes on the inside. And I will put a sentiment later, since I don't have the scrap with me. Sorry, I feel bad, that's not like me, but yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna add our adhesive to the back. Again. And my initial in the middle for some love. And then we're just gonna flip this one over and add it here. Okay. And then that is this card. Oops, I got some stuff there. So there's our card with the coordinating envelope, and you just add your sentiments later. And so as you can see on the original, I used a different one. I also pointed it in a different direction. And then I heat embossed white onto green and just put my little sentiment there. So like whatever sentiment you're using, by all means, just put it wherever you like. And if you want to add more bling, you can. I just felt like these cards just did not need it. So that's card number 2. I hope you enjoyed that. And I hope you really like your kits. Next month, I'm going to tell you right now, is going to involve some hot foiling. So you'd want to get your $60 order in, because I'm going to give you some cards with some hot foil in it. Because it says Stampin' Up's policy is we're not allowed to stamp. We cannot give you stuff that has stamping, but it doesn't say I can't hot foil. So I'm hot foiling. Okay, the last but not least, my favorite card. And there's lots of pieces. Now, I gave you extra because I didn't know what you would like inside your baggie, but I wanted to give you a little bit more. So we're going to build this one. It's going to be a little bit of building. So you're going to have 2 sheets of basic white in here. Now you need to be careful because one is very, very thick and the other one is not. And the very, very thick one in your kit is the one we're going to watercolor on. So make sure that is that. This one is for the inside of your card. You don't need it. I mean, Coastal Cabana is so dark that, or light enough of a blue that you can get away with not putting a piece of white in there. But I know lots of people like that, so I just gave you an insert anyway. And then inside there is your purse. So this is coming from the Notes and Totes die set. So I never bought the bundle for this one. And I will fully admit that I purposely did not get it until it was on Last Chance. So this comes with like 17 amazing pieces. So you can build your bag any way you want. And there's like lotions and creams, fun sunglasses. And at first I thought that was headphones and I was like, no, that's the strap. And you could add a pocket and a little tag hanging from your purse. And then there's all these beach stuff. So I love it. And then to get away from stamping, I gave you guys the new washi tape. So this washi tape, all I did was roll it out onto some basic white. And then this set, which goes very well with Boardwalk and our other summer set from last month, goes so well. Where is it? I had it all sitting here. And it's called Summer Happiness. So these are the dies and then these now. So you're probably like, I also did I didn't do a week on this one, but it matches. But this also has sandals and sunglasses like the other set does. I think I can't remember what it was called. Summer something, I think, as well. But this one's Summer Happiness. And I love the fact that it comes with a camera. And I guess that's the sun. Some cherries. And I even gave you the itty bitty flowers. And then I love the sentiments. But on this one, the bag takes up so much room and we stuff it with so much stuff that I didn't want to use those sentiments. And I just chose to use the word relax because, I mean, what else do you do at the beach? Or the cottage, whichever. I mean, you could put it does still fit happy birthday or cheers to you or let's party, whatever. You can put whatever you want there. Okay. So, how do we do this? Okay, so let's get our, you're going to need your 2 colors, which is Coastal Cabana and the brown, which is cream. I use crumb cake. And then 2 ways you can do this is you could put some ink on a block or, where did I put my water painters? Sorry, I'm just trying to find mine. I showed them to you. Oh, there they are. Or you could just do it in the lid. So I'm going to grab my fatty. And I'm just going to do mine in the lid. So I'm going to give this a squeeze. Not enough. I want more. Okay. There we go. And then same with this. And you're going to want a paper towel nearby. So there we go. And I'm going to move this out of the way because I have room. I'm going to stick a ink pad. That one's too tall. I'll stick an ink pad underneath there to hold these guys so it doesn't go so wobbly. Okay, there's my two. And there's my paper. So we're gonna add some water. And I'm gonna do the blue first and just work my way down. Whew, that's a lot of water. So I'm using the thicker and the wider one so then I can get more coverage. So I'm gonna wash this down really good. Add lots of water. And tap some off here to the side. And then we're just literally going to brush it on. We probably should have did this first so that it would dry. So we could give it time to dry. I wasn't thinking. And I'm just gonna brush. Now you can also spritz this with water or whatever you like. And I got a little bit of a hair in there, so I'll clean it off. And then put however much ink you want. If you want it darker, then by all means do it darker. I'm gonna add a little bit more water because I want mine nice and light. And whatever, ziggity zag it, it's water. It's supposed to be like my water. So add more, and I'll pick up a little bit of dark and maybe blotch some lines in there to make it look like it's whatever. So there we go, I'm done. So now I'm just gonna take my paper towel and I'm gonna drop some water on here, and as soon as my brush, like even though it's got some blue in there, I can try and pull out as much as I can. As long as the brush comes clear, which it is, I don't see any much blue on there. There's still a bit, obviously, but I think it's good enough. Let's add some more water just to make sure. Yep, I think we're good. Then I can now dip this in my lighter color, which is crumb cake. Just gonna wipe this up. Okay. So, but that's fine because now I'm gonna take crumb cake and repeat. So I'm gonna add my water. And again, I want that light. So I'm gonna mix and make sure. If you got too much water, you can just tap it on your paper towel there. And then I'm just gonna go in and add my brown. So this is the sand part, the beachy part. There's a big piece of something in there. It's like a shred of something. Like just string or paper towel or linen or something. And then go like this. And again, you could add some spots if you want it darker. You can. I mean, really up to you. It's just water paper, so you don't worry about putting too much or whether you have this perfect line or not. It just doesn't matter. So then I'm gonna clean my brush again, just add some water and wait till it's no longer brown. There we go. And now it's clean again. And then I can just put the lid back on. So I'm gonna squish that. So again, if you order my TNT Retreat in the Box go, which is techniques and templates, you get a tutorial for all 6 cards. You also get templates, and you get a full pack of water painters and a mini blending brush in your kit. So worth it. I have a big scratch. Now, to dry this, you can take your paper towel and dab it to make sure all of it is dry. Or you could take your heat tool and give it a little bit of heat to dry it all up. Or, like I said, just let it sit there and do everything else while it dries. So let's talk about everything else. This is everything that's left in your kit. Love it. And so we're now going to take our piece, and now I don't know why they have these wingedy wings here, but it does. And we're going to build our purse. Like, I never bought the coordinating stamp set, so I don't know. But this one goes here. So you can just cut this piece off or fold it over. So what I just did, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it off because I don't need it. And you don't need it. Now this piece here goes here. So that's the bottom strip of the purse or bag. And you can see here that it folds. So you should have score lines you should be able to see. And then another score line here on this edge. So I just left this one there because we're just going to use it to glue it down. And also because I want it to have a little bit of lift. In the middle, we're going to put dimensionals. So I kind of tried to make this look a little 3D by using this as the bottom and like those flaps and then this popping up a bit. Okay, so, and then also inside there are your two strips. These two strips of black strips here. I'll just put them there. So those black strips go here on the card, like right at that score line right there. So that's the strips on your bag. And then you could cut two of these out if you wanted to show two. And then this one just goes there. Does that make sense? Awesome. So we're going to build. So I'm going to take my tweezers again. And then I'm just going to run a very fine line of adhesive. I just realized I didn't put my needle in, so it might have dried. Yep. Give me a second here. I'm gonna poke it. I can see some of it coming out now. Clean that off. Clean this off too. It's amazing how quickly these dry. Even the little white ones, right? There we go. A little too much adhesive there. Okay, and then along that score line, okay, you're just gonna add your piece. I'm right-handed. I gotta go the other way. Okay. Oops. Or fling it, whatever. So you're just going to add that there. I'm just going to fold that over so you see it. Ta-da! And then now you see that little stripey there. And then we're going to do the other side. Right here as well. So again, I don't know why I'm using the tweezers because that didn't work. I ended up using my fat fingers anyway. Okay. This is our last card, by the way. I'm so sad. I'm having fun. Okay, and then we're going to add that there and to the other side. And because it is liquid glue, we're going to wiggle it a bit to make sure that it's there. Ta-da! Now, you could have also put this one on first and then just trimmed off the top. That's an option, but I'm fine with just doing it this way. I think with this one here, I trimmed off the extra. So I put this piece on first, and then I put the two strips, and then I trimmed whatever was extra. But this works just fine as well. So now we're gonna add adhesive to this guy. And he should fit, or she, it should fit along the bottom here. So it's just gonna line up along there. And this is where I like using my liquid glue because then you can just play with it and make sure it all lines up well. Awesome. And then now our purse handles, which I personally thought looks like headphones. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. They put headphones in there. And I'm like, oh, wait, that's not headphones. Those are straps. So, yeah. And we're going to put that there and then take that off. So I like using mini glue dots, and I literally put them right at the end because then I know for sure I'm just going to line this up in the middle, and I know I'm just going to make sure my mini glue dots aren't showing, and that's where the height of my bag is. Or if you don't like that, which I don't at this moment, I'm going to go a little lower so that more of this is on the bottom. And I want to keep it, now you could go right up to that because really leather bags, it's usually all the way down. But because I'm stuffing a bunch of stuff, I wanted a longer handle, if that makes sense. So here you can see I put it a little higher. So this whole thing really should go right onto there, but I wanted my handle higher so you could see all the stuff popping out. So just to make it look like it's more like a purse. Okay, that's it. So we're done. No, just kidding. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why did she give me a black water bottle and a flowered water bottle? Because you can see here, I put a black top on my flowered water bottle. So you could do it two ways. You can cut this piece off and stick this water bottle right on top of the black. Or you could leave it this way and cut that piece off and put the black piece on top. So I'm going to do it the other way. And I'm just going to take, because I can put a mini glue dot right along this back. And I'm going to use that piece. And then I'm going to cut my water bottle off. So if you want to use this water bottle for something else, for another project, you can. And now I'm going to stick this piece right on the top of my lid on my flowered water bottle. Oops. Making sure it's straight. Now the other side of this is a striped. So if you would prefer the striped bottle, by all means, go ahead. But I wanted this one. So there is my water bottle. If I can keep it in my hand. Okay, so now we're going to play some fun. So I gave you a juice container, I gave you a pineapple, gave you all this fun stuff. This one obviously is the scarf and it gets tied right there, wherever you like. I also gave you a flower, so some of you may have different colored flowers. And I stuck that one here, and then the rest goes wherever you want. I also added a couple little ones in case you wanted to use those. But I gave you way more than what you need. Let me just put it that way. But I wanted to make sure you had the sunglasses, water bottle, and slippers and camera, because that typically is what goes in there. The rest is extra. You could also take this and then add your drink here to the side. I mean, do whatever you like, but I gave you plenty of pieces to play with. So, because I love it. It's just so fun. So, I'm going to add a little bit of glue here, just on where, before it folds, before the two score lines, so that I could add whatever I want there. So, I want my camera in the middle, and I want that camera showing quite a bit. And then I want my slippers over here somewhere. I kind of want both of them showing. So I'm going to put it a little higher. So all I'm doing is building my bag. And then my sunglasses are going to go here. But I'm going to go tuck into this side. So I'm going to add that after. And then this guy, oh, we can add that on. I'm just going to use a mini glue dot. So that's my scarf. Although a towel would have been nice, but I guess that would be pretty big. I'm going to put that there. Now, it doesn't matter if my glue dot is hanging a little over because it's just going to touch the camera. And you can see here my piece is kind of lifting up. So I might put a glue dot there and just make sure I score that. I'm just going to bend those lines again because it wants to come up. So my glue is not, I probably didn't put enough glue. So here in the middle, I'm going to add my dimensionals. So I'm going to add a couple at the bottom so that it looks like the bag is puffed out and full of this stuff. Okay, and I'm purposely leaving along the top because I want to be able to tuck. Okay, so that's my bottom. Now, for these two sides, I'm going to go in with tear and tape because I want those sides. Now, I'm just going to do this flap. I might not be able to use tear and tape. What did I use? Oh, I'm okay. think I thought I used tear and tape. Maybe I should write these notes down. I guess that's why we do tutorials, so we remember. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. So it doesn't matter if my glue's on the inside. Just make sure that glue's not on the outside piece, because then it's going to be sticky on your card. But again, you could just use my little embossing buddy trick that I showed you earlier, and then it won't be sticky. Okay, this guy's dry now, so I'm going to pull him in. And then we're going to grab these pieces off. Okay, I better hurry up. My kids are like, where are we going? Okay, and you could double these if you want it a little more bulkier, but I'm okay with that. So now this piece, it's pretty big, so you're going to want to stick it at an angle, which is why I have mine at an angle. And then I'm going to pop this down and then tuck these sides in. Come on. And so it's going to be a little poofy. So these are going to be a little poofy here in the middle, because you have those dimensionals, and then these sides are a little more flat. So that gives it that 3D depth look. And then now I can tuck my glasses in here as I see fit. So I'm going to add a dimensional to the back of one side of my glasses. And then I'm going to add a mini glue dot to the other side. Or you could pop it up. Either way. Oops. And then this is going to tuck in here like that. Or however you like. Right? Now, I still got some room. My flower is going to go there. So I'm going to use a mini or a Stampin' Up! Dimensional on that one. And that's my flower. And then I'm going to add my water bottle over here because I got way too much blue on that side. So I'm going to tuck it in right there. So I'm going to add, and then maybe I'll add a mini on the top here. Okay. So I'm going to slide that in like so. And there's my glue. Now I have a bunch more. So feel free, like I said, to add those wherever you like. If you want to add a pineapple here, or maybe you want to put your pineapple inside, feel free to do whatever you like. Or I'm going to add them to the outside. Now I need a sentiment. So again, I'm just going to grab this one. So I've got some early espresso. And then I'm going to grab that water side and grab that word relax. Relax. Get to it. Oh, wrong one. Oh, why is that one in there? That's for tomorrow. Oh my, I stuck that in the wrong pack. Wow, that's a good thing I found that. I'd be searching for that. I'm gonna be searching for it tomorrow at that rate. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab another small block here. And then I'm gonna catch that word relax and add it here. And now I have that. Okay, and if I don't think it needs more, but if you want to add some bling, by all means, add some bling. Then we're going to take our card base like this. I thought I had a sun in this one, and I was going to use the sun to seal my envelope. But this one doesn't have a sun. So I think you all have a sun. So you could use that if you like. So now we're going to add adhesive to the back. Now this is watercolored paper, so it's a lot thicker. And if you did add your water to it and it was a little heavy, then if you want to flatten it out, I would just put a block on top and let it sit till, you know, a few minutes. And then we'll flatten that out. So it's got quite a bit of lift and love on there. And I put it too high. Oh, come on. I put it too high. Let's try that again. Ay caramba. Oh my. Let's see. For some reason I can't get it straight. Struggling. Probably because it's the last card. Okay, there you go. And then if you want, you can stamp the inside with whatever you like. This one's got so many things, so I could stamp another flower or whichever, or you could take your pieces that I gave you here and add them to the inside. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to add the drink to the inside. So then that way, whatever sentiment I use, and then I'm going to add my adhesive to the back. So again, whatever you like. And I gave you all those extra pieces to do with as you wish. Because, you know, if I'm cutting from that roll of washi tape, I might as well just keep going. It was in my way, so I just cut it. I thought I had a sun, but I guess I don't. Because there was lots of extras, so I must have stuck them. Oh, maybe I stuck them in this one. So yeah. So these were a bunch that I still haven't cut, but they were... So I went around them all because I had to get the stuff for you out of it, for your set. So that's why they're there. Okay, so maybe I don't. Oh, that is so weird. Sorry, I just realized like I put stamp sets with the wrong, and like, how did I do that? Good thing I found it tonight. So it's a good thing we're having these sessions. Okay, so for the envelope, yeah, I'm gonna stick a flower in each corner because I can. So if you have the sun, my thought was to put the sun here in the middle, and I don't have it, so I think I might just use the pineapple as my middle. But really, that's up to you, or not. But I wanted to put the sun there. So if you have it, you should have it by all means. I thought it would be nice to create like a quote unquote a seal, you know, in the middle. And so the sun would have been it. Okay, so that is our third card. And so we're done. Wow, that felt like it took a little longer than expected. Okay, 20 minutes. That's not bad. So that is our third card right there. So I hope you liked it. So feel free to give me a thumbs up or whatever, any emoji. So that is card number 1 or number 3. So just a recap. These were cards, the cards we just made and were in your kit. So if you would like to place an order this month, you're going to get some heat foiled cards for next month. And again, you'll get 3 cards just like you do here. I'll mail them all to you with envelopes. And you just have to place a minimum order of $60. And you'll get all 3 cards that I create. And for you to put together with me. And I have to just double check, but usually I do this on the 3rd week of every month. So then that way on August 1st, I look at who placed an order with me in July, and then anyone that's $60 or more before shipping and tax, I write their names down so then I know, and then I know how many kits to cut. And then from the 2nd to the 5th, I take that time to cut all my kits, and then I just have to package them and everything like that. So then that takes me another couple days. So then you get it the 2nd week, so, or the 3rd. So that's why I usually do the 3rd. So I might have to go a little tighter for next month, only because I'm traveling for work. So I believe I'm going to be gone possibly the last 2 weeks, which then means the 3rd Thursday of August is not available. And I say Thursday because that's the Thursday is the day when I can do in person with you. And then the Friday is the day I do the virtual with you. So anyway, I will keep you posted. I'm going to get that confirmed this week when my boss is back from vacation. And then I can plan the last half of my August. Okay, because that's usually when I do all my creative in person and my classes with you. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed those kits, and I look forward to creating more fun with you next month together. So have a great night. Enjoy the weekend, and I hope to see you again soon. Happy stamping.